Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another episode of the Love You to Life podcast. How y'all doing? Hey, guess what? Today we're going to do something totally different, totally new. So get ready.
We've been hitting y'all some hard hitters lately. Some hard hitters. So we want to give y'all a little something light.
We're going to lighten it up just a smidgen. Let me tell y'all something. Can y'all keep a secret? Okay. Love You to Lifers. Can you keep a secret? We're going to let you in the group chat today. Today,
Oh,
yes. Today, y'all gonna be in our group chat. You're going to hear about and see the social media posts, the pop culture, all the things going on in the world that Calvin and I talk about going back and forth when we're not sitting here talking to y'all. Okay. So we're gonna share with you some of the things that we do with our social media, what we're looking at, what has intrigued us, what has, I don't know, maybe angered us, what has tickled our funny bones on social media lately and in pop culture lately. And we encourage y'all to jump in our social media and let us know what is doing the same thing for you. What's intriguing you? What are you feeling angry about? What is tickling your funny bone? And just how are you using social media? So let's just talk about it. You're in the group chat starting now.
boom. And so here's guys. So we've told y'all before, part of how we come up with episode ideas is like stuff that we see on social media. So we like stop talking about it and like actually tell you what we saw. But I also think that I'm a big fan of what I call pop culture parables. Is like stuff that you see online can be
Yeah.
something that actually can teach you a little something.
Yeah.
I very much love a good tiki and I will laugh and I will giggle. So I definitely share those as well. And I definitely find people that I like on that. But sometimes I'll say something, I'm like, this is a really good point. I want to, give my spin on it, or this is a really good point. And I would share stuff with my kids. Like sometimes you could talk to you blue in the face with a kid, but a well-placed 3-minute TikTok would just be the sermonette that they needed to get the point. So one time I will use a TikTok video for that. And so I have been saving up some things, and I think, like we've been sharing things back and forth, that I'm like, this is just such a good point, or this is just such a good idea that I want to make sure that I'm sharing it in some type of way. And so I'm gonna just share a few of these with y'all. Liz gonna share a few of these with y'all. When we put this up on YouTube, I might try and link some of these in the description of the video so that you can kind of take a look at those as well, and then drop some comments about which ones y'all like. And feel free on YouTube as well to share some stuff with us that you want us to see, because I mean, you in the group chat.
We want to see it. You in the group chat, so share. Okay.
So the first one I'm sharing was this video. So if you're not familiar, at the time that we are recording this, Keke Palmer has a new movie out with Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson. I don't think it got enough advertisement, but it was actually a very cute little, perfect little taking my hair down, putting my hair up Saturday afternoon movie. But she was doing a big press tour because of that. And so she was coming up on my feet a little bit more. And there was recently, and she has podcasts too, Keke. I know I'm not a celebrity yet, bring me on a podcast. But so she was doing this podcast and she was interviewing Ryan Michelle Bathay and her husband. What is this? Sterling. What is his last name? Anyway, she was interviewing that couple. And he was like, Keke grown, y'all. He like made this point. He's like, Keke just asked me a grown woman question, y'all. It tickled me so, because for those of you who are younger and don't realize that Keke Palmer has had a career, I think she's probably approaching 40 now, but she's had a career for over 30 years, like for 30 years she's been in the business. She has had her own show multiple times. She has headlined movies multiple times, but she also tells this story about how when she was kind of like mid 20s and maybe early 20s, people stopped hiring her. They just was like, they wasn't giving her no play, period.
I didn't know that.
And so the way that she reinvented herself is she bet on herself. She bet on herself, y'all. So she's doing it again. If y'all are not watching on YouTube, if you're just listening, she's doing it again. She did it a couple episodes back. She's doing it again. I'm just gonna let you know. Okay. So she bet on herself. She took some of the money she made as a child and invested in production of some things that she wanted to produce. So she's like, hey, you don't see me as a leading lady anymore? Guess what? I am.
Period, Pooh. Period, Pooh.
As star quality, guess what? I am. And so she wrote and produced and directed and invested her own money, the money that she had earned through her childhood, through her teen years. And she's talked, I think, at length about the fact that her family kind of moved for her, and so she very much was responsible for the finances of the family.
Mhm.
But I just feel some type of way seeing her just glow up and show up. And I just
Mhm.
love it, y'all. I just love it. I saved that one because I'm just like, you know what? Some of us are still trying to fit in or trying to tolerate or trying to exist in a world in which people only see us one way. And sometimes you got to flip it on. You got to
Right.
pivot. You got to do
Right.
something different. And the fact that she's doing that now and people really are taking that second look. Somebody, look, sis, you need to do a double take on yourself to have them doing a double take.
Right.
All
I
right.
really love that story.
Yeah.
I love that, as I didn't know she had to pivot like that. I didn't know that.
She did, she did, and I think she went I don't remember all of the details now, but I think she went through a little bit of a rough patch with, like, some love stuff, but she came out of that and just a lot of times children stars don't do well. They either become relegated to, um, hosting the, Thanksgiving Day parade or something ridiculous, and they can't make a career pivot, so if Kiki can do something different, so can you.
Right. I love that. And the thing I think I loved about it the most is just like so many times we have the opportunity to be thinking that because someone is a celebrity, their life is so easy for them.
Yes.
That it's just a red carpet, it's just a stick of butter on a grill. It just melts so easy. A stick of
Honestly.
butter on a grill
That
melts easy.
is that a
They just
saying?
I think
I don't think
they
that's an
think
actual saying.
it's the same because I just said it. Do I have to I mean, what? I just said it. So I just think that many times, I think I go through the same thing when I work with athletes because folks think they're professional because they find out a professional athlete is around, they think that life is just easy for them. But
Right.
life is life for them too. So I
Period.
love that she pivoted. So shout out to Kiki.
Period. Pretty much, Kiki is one of those people. So I have a list of people, y'all. Just FYI, just so y'all can just know me a
Yeah,
little bit
tell
better.
me because I don't think I know.
I have a list of people that it's not too much. Like they're gonna stay on my list, right? Like barring voting for him, it's not much that they're gonna be able to do to get me off of them because they just who they are. So Kiki, one of them. Cat is one of them. It's pretty much Cat can do whatever he want at this point.
Let me
Like
tell you something. People probably be surprised to know how much I really like Cat.
Cat Williams can do whatever he want. I mean, he can say whatever he want. I just he's not gonna get off my list. It's we going together real bad. So just there's a few people on that list. Kiki is one of them that like just
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think we need to interject this here. Like one of the things is that we think is a part of loving your life is number one, just be yourself. It just is what it is. Like we are not putting on airs for y'all. We are not gonna try to pretend that we are people that we are not. If you haven't figured out yet by this point in our podcast journey, we're just gonna be who we are. And
period.
that, it is the bougie, it is the ratchet, it is the suburban, it is the country, it is the all of it. It is the saved, it is the am I saved?
Oh yes.
But I am. But some of y'all feel like if somebody saved, they can't do or say a certain thing. But so that's why I'm like, okay. But anyway, I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Okay.
No.
But yeah, I think that you'd be surprised to some people are surprised to know just how silly we are, that we really do enjoy laughing a lot. But
Mhm.
that is a part of what we think that's a big part of loving your life is
Period.
that you laugh. And the scripture says that a
Oh
merry
God.
good. A merry heart is good for you. You're supposed to laugh. Laughter is like medicine, the
Remember.
Bible said. So we find ourselves laughing all the time. So that was okay. So that's your first one. So I'm gonna
Right.
say one of the things that I do is I always have collections in my phone. I have categories in my phone of how I save the videos that I like, whether it be on TikTok or on IG. And I keep one for laughter. I keep one for laughter. I keep one for good news. I keep one for praise and worship. Like I have one for recipes. I have one for aging well. I have a category for travel. So like if I'm gonna plan a trip, I save different stuff I see for travel.
Tell them about that one you sent us last week with that woman that paid for everybody to go on vacation. That could be one of
Let
yours.
me
Tell 'em
tell
about
you something.
that, 'cause
Let me tell you something. Her name is April Buckles. And she was planning, I think she's with Wilhelmina Models. I'm
no,
a
she
person
was
of color. A person of color, as is her husband. And they planned their annual Cabo trip with friends. And they rented out a house that had 14 rooms in it. And I don't remember if they mentioned the bathrooms or not, but there were 14 bedrooms. There's a pool, there's an elevator. They had a wait staff, a chef. Um, they rented a golf cart to be able to go up and down, like, I guess they were kind of at the top of a hill to be able to go up and down the hill. They had this golf cart. Um, there was a pool. Did I say that already? There was a
Yeah.
pool. She actually covered everybody's flights. And she tipped the wait staff. They did private massages for everybody and like spa treatments and stuff. But the thing that I just thought about was the first thing I thought about was that she um was able to provide this luxury experience for her friends, but it was also affordable if her friends were chipping in. Because it might look like the cost of the house was something like 23,000 or something, whatever it was. But I remember by the number of people that were attending, it was like $2,500 a piece. Well, that's not a big deal because everything else was there. They didn't have to go anywhere. They were jet skiing, they were doing different kinds of excursions, but they had wait staff, a chef, all the stuff. So, fortunately for her, she paid for it for her friends, which I think is super dope. One day hope to do that. But one of the other things that she mentioned was that she had Delta Sky Miles, and that's how she helped to cover everybody's flight because she
Right.
covered the flight, the food, and the accommodations. And my husband and I we got a little close to doing something like that when on our most recent family vacay because we wanted his family to come with us and help us with baby girl. And so we were able to do something very similar, but using
Mhm.
my Delta Sky Miles and all that kind of stuff. So I like this because number one, there was a little bit of not anticipation. What's the word? Something that
Inspiration?
you want. What is it?
Inspiration?
Well, definitely inspiration, but aspiration.
Aspiration,
I would
aspiration.
love to take my close besties, on a trip like this and be able to cover the whole thing for them and
And they
my
all
family.
have their own rooms.
And they all had their own come on now, and they all had their own rooms, because if we was in a whole house, no different than a hotel, that's fine. Everybody has their own room and probably their own bathroom. But yeah, they did a yacht day too. They had a yacht day. But so there's a part of aspiration part of it. But the other part I love about aspiration is that I can see where I'm on the right track. Like I
Right.
don't know if I'll
Mhm.
ever do that, but I've done parts of that and I've had the
Right.
mindset to do parts of that. And so I think that's really cool. So that's one of the things that I've saved lately in my
Yeah,
social
and
media.
here's what I love about that is maybe you're not at that position today, right? We always talk about on the Love of Your Life podcast is maybe you're not all the way there, right? You ain't got to like that, but
Mhm,
what's 1% of that you can do, right? What's
mhm,
5% of that you can do? What's 10% of that you can do?
mhm.
And the idea that it has to be a certain type of way or what have you, that's not what. Like sometimes people follow people and they're like, "Ooh, she always trying to show off this." Ooh, come on now. Maybe you don't have it like that, but you could invite your friends over for dinner. I mean, like
Right,
what's that? What does that look like in your life? Like that's
right,
to me what the point is when we look. They talk a lot about the impact of social media and how the impact it has on people's mental health as they are essentially comparing their lives to these aspirational people online or these curated pieces of people online. But the
mhm,
real truth is, how are you choosing to use that? Because
right,
while somebody might look at that and be like, "Man, see, I'm never gonna be there. She probably the 1%. She probably not even paying her taxes." Somebody else might look at that like that, or you could look at that as, "Man, I would love to get there. Maybe I can't do that right now, but maybe I'll ask a few friends if they want to, pitch it for Airbnb for the weekend." I saw somebody years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it's been a while where they did like they've made a retreat for themselves to be in a Airbnb, and I think they might have had a couple meals catered in, but they basically just wanted to read together. So everybody
mm.
got a corner, everybody got a couch, and so they wasn't all talking all the time. Like it wasn't
Everybody
like,
was reading.
a lot of times these events be like, "Oh, we got to do a whole bunch of stuff." No, they was mostly reading, and
Yeah,
then they would come together in the evening and talk about what they read and talk about their stuff and eat good foods. And I was like, that's my kind of retreat right there. Like that's
right.
giving me life. But
Yeah.
maybe you're not gonna do that. But what would that look like in your life? So I think that's a really good point for those type of videos. And my real point is you need to make sure that you're curating your feed because your feed loves you because that's right on your app. Like that's
Yes,
right
it
on your
did.
app.
Yes, it is.
So if you're not getting life from your feed, y'all better curate that feed. Who you following? You shouldn't
Right,
be following us for sure.
right,
But who are
right.
you following? Are you following
Yeah.
somebody that's giving you life or are you following somebody that's making you feel bad about yourself?
Yeah.
Hello.
And that's the other thing because, from a mental health perspective, we know that so many times social media can be a part of a declining mood,
Right.
depending on the perspective of the person that's viewing the post. And so you really want to check yourself and make sure if you're logging in and you're looking at your phone, whatever your favorite social media portal is, then make sure that whatever you're watching is feeding you and not something that you're having a hard time with. And if so, then you probably need to unfollow or
Right.
change which platforms you're using.
Right.
Okay, you
So my
got
next one I had saved was one that I really was saving like for my kids, but it was a woman who was talking, it was an interview, and I don't know the podcast right offhand, but it was a woman who was talking about how you should choose your career. And when we're
Hmm.
talking to kids about careers, a lot of times we talk to them about, oh, you're good at XYZ, you should be this. Oh, you're good
Hmm.
at this, you should be that. And the truth of the matter is, you should choose your career by reverse engineering the kind of life that you want to have. And I
Tell
thought
us more.
that is such a good piece of advice because very often the life that you want to have doesn't align with the career. And here's the example I'm gonna give. So one of my first career moves was to be a hairdresser. Now,
They didn't know that
what
about
I'm
you.
doing here, I know, like y'all might not know that, but
Why you don't never help me with mine? No, but never mind. We'll take that back offline. We'll take that out the group chat.
moving on. 20 plus years ago, I was a hairdresser. And I
Mhm.
got into hairdressing because I left. I went to Ball State for a year, left, came back home, got married, blah, blah, blah. You know the story there. And I ended up being a hairdresser. But that lifestyle at that time did not align with my life, right? Because for me to build a career as a hairstylist, you have to be available when people are ready to get their hair done. And people will take off of work to get their hair done. But at that time in that community, it was relatively challenging for me to build a caseload organically of people that wanted to come in and get their hair done between 9 and 3 when my kids was at school. That was in that community, that was little old lady with blue roller time. And so it wasn't necessarily brown girls who needed a relaxer time, right? So I had a hard time getting my income to where I wanted it to be with that career because it didn't align with the life that I wanted to have. Now I have a life that very much aligns with me picking up my kids, dropping off my kids, doing the things that I want to do. So when you're talking to your kids, have conversations with them about how they want to live. If you don't really want to get up early, maybe not have a career that requires you to be at work at 7:30.
Hmm.
If you want to be outside, maybe we shouldn't be talking to you about a career that requires you to be indoors 24. Like you have to decide what that is. And so you can still have your hobbies, you can still have your passions, you can still have your interests, but your career should be the thing that's going to pay you enough money to live the life that you want to live
Yes.
and not just what somebody said you was maybe good at. And so I
Mhm.
think so many kids, you're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, oh, a teacher, a firefighter. Like we have this very limited perspective of
Mhm.
what it can be. But there's a vast amount of things that are options for them, and just getting them exposed to as many of those things as possible. And I thought that was a good video because I like the way she phrased reverse engineering the life that you want to have.
It's such a big deal, isn't it? Because you can be good at a lot of things. You
Period.
can have, we all are multi-talented people.
Right.
But many times just the thing that you have spent the most time on is what you are directed towards from your
Yes.
friends, family, guidance counselor, whatever. And the truth is there might be something else that you could be very well suited for that actually will produce the life that you want. And you can still then use those other talents in another way.
Period.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So another one that I have saved here is Kara, the digital nomad mom. Her name is Cara, digital nomad mom, and she's only this is the second or third time I've seen a video like this, but the first time I've seen hers. This is the what we would call, I guess, international medical travel. So she went to
Mm.
Istanbul, Turkey. She, her husband, and their young daughter, who appears to be like 3 or 4. And in Istanbul, Turkey, they have this full body medical examination for your whole
Mm.
entire family. So you come over there, you're given a concierge for the day who takes you from appointment to appointment throughout the day. They provide you with a high-end, high caliber meals throughout the day, and you go through and have this different testing done, and it's like a X-ray, EKGs, chest scans, blood work, checking for all the things, ophthalmology, your eye exams, all that kind of stuff. And her whole family did it at this high-end hospital for $1,300. And so when
Mm,
I'm thinking about, in my private practice, we understand co-pays and we understand
deductibles.
deductibles. And so most times families have deductibles of $3,000 a
Fast.
person easily. So for them to be able to go to another area and have that full workup that is probably more extensive than what we
Right.
typically get here for our regular checkups. I thought that was cool because you maybe already wanted to visit Turkey and it's not something that's it was just health tourism is what it's called. So no, I haven't done it. I can't co-sign it. I can't tell you that it's a great thing to do, but I'm definitely curious about it, especially knowing how many women I've talked to who are considering international travel for IVF. And
Mm.
so we did IVF. We know how much it costs. We know how much money it took for us to be able to do that. But there have been some other people who've been successful with IVF doing it at other places. And if you've got the means to be able to look that up and to consider doing something like that, I think it's worth knowing. So I saved her video. I would totally go and do that kind of medical testing and get that information and make a trip out of it. Why not?
Mhm. And you know what I love most about that is how many people are sitting there saying what they can't afford,
Right.
what they can't do, or how
Right.
long it's taking to get a referral, or I don't want to wait. Like, get comfortable with the process or the path looking different than maybe you expect it to look. Like, get comfortable with that because maybe it's not going to look like you running around the corner to the doctor. I mean, and
Mhm.
I understand that, cost might be a concern for some people, but if you're going to pay it anyway,
Right. I'm just saying, let's say
don't
you
pay
was
it anyway.
right. But let's just say you were going that you have this desire to go over there anyway, or to another place that could offer something similar. There's
Right.
a concierge for the day. There's an English translator. There's all the exams from the rooter to the tutor. There's dental, ophthalmology. There's heart scans. There's all those things. And a family of three did it for $1,300. And
Right.
so you weren't getting treatment there. You're getting assessment there, right? And so you can decide what you want to do. But I think it's something to consider.
Problems
So I'm
have
saying,
solutions, and they
problem
might be
solution.
more unique than you expected.
Right. Okay. What you got? You got another one?
So I had this one, and this one is not one that was funny to me. It was actually angering to me. Is that a word?
Ooh. Okay, pause. I have to let them in. They don't know this about you in the group chat. So one of the things that Cavalin is really, really good at is that that tongue can cut like a knife. Okay. Not in a way of like her being mean to someone or something like that, but in her reading you for filth in the most professional way possible when you have crossed a boundary, when you have done some microaggressions, when you have just done some stuff you shouldn't do. She got that like that. She got that like that. It's good. It's really a blessing to my soul.
First of all, I mean, she's not lying,
I'm
but
not if you need somebody to email your child teacher and be like, "Don't try that mess no more," she's the one. She can do it.
it's just something, we all have our own spiritual gifts, right? And I
What
like
gift is
words.
that? Pause, pause, time out. What spiritual gift is that?
The gift of reading.
The gift of reading. I can't let you lie on the Holy Ghost. I don't think he gave us that. I don't think he gave us the gift of reading.
The gift of interpretation. I'm interpreting to you what the devil you need to do to get back in line with Jesus. It's a gift of interpretation.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Call it what you want to call it. Continue.
Now,
Continue.
that was not what this is about.
Okay,
But
go ahead.
if you were, why got in a group chat, you should know a lot of read videos get passed back.
Yes, because when there is a read, I have to give it to her. And most of the time she's like, that's not quite there. It needs to be a little bit.
I feel like
That's
they
not
need,
quite
they
good
need
enough.
2 more lines. It was missing 2 lines. They needed
And
two
I'll be
more.
like, oh, get them, they did it. She'd be
They
like,
need 2 more bullet points.
I'm not feeling it, dog. It's a pitchy
And then
dog.
other times I'll be like, sensational.
Right. Practice. Wow.
Because, and here's the thing, and y'all should also know, I'm not opposed to curse words. Okay, I don't have a
Nope.
problem with them if they are used correctly and at the appropriate time. Sometimes they're unnecessary, right? I'm
Yeah, for
not a
sure.
fan of an unnecessary curse word. However, if it's well placed, if it's woven into the fabric,
Oh,
I'm here
woven.
for it.
We're
But if
weaving
it's
into
just
something.
like no,
Yeah, because I've never heard her cuss nobody out now. I haven't, but she might
I mean, I
well,
will without. I look, my kids. I
right.
cuss people out without curse words. Like you'll feel cussed out when I'm done,
Oh boy.
but I don't necessarily have to curse you out. Because
You
some
know,
people really take offense to that, and it's never my intention to harm someone, but it is my intention to set the boundary and let you know where it is and where you can get off at. Okay, now, and speaking of which, if I was in this video, there would have been a read.
what? What video was this?
The video it was really, and it was like, it wasn't even really a video. It's one of those like photo ones. And there was a woman, an African American woman who was single. I would assuming she was a high performer. She was successful because she was doing IVF and paying for it by herself. Okay.
Oh,
So
mm-hmm.
those of us who know what IVF costs to do IVF 2 times without a spouse,
It's not
no,
cheap.
not cheap. She was a card carrying member of the church. She was a
Mm-hmm.
proud Christian.
Oh, she told me
And
about this, y'all.
she had
Mhm.
2 children out of wedlock via IVF. And the church essentially said to her, "Who is your baby daddy and why he ain't here?" And so she was like, "Oh, he is sperm donor number 127," right? And
Mhm,
she made it very
mhm.
clear that she had chosen to become a mother because she wanted to be a mother and that she was
Yeah.
not married. And they basically ran her about the church.
My goodness gracious.
And here's the thing. In her situation, she has what we call church hurt, and we talked about maybe doing an episode about that because there are a lot of people that I know that have church hurt where they
Mhm.
were mistreated or misguided in a church or misdirected or misled in a church, and they have now become so disenfranchised that they have left the church completely. And I've said it on the podcast before, and I will say it again today. I love God even if I don't like the church. Okay. So the
Mhm.
church is the people, and sometimes they
Yep.
don't make the right choices. But God's still the same. But she really, it almost feels like she has kind of left God. She says that she's spiritual now, but
Huh.
it feels like she's kind of left the potential of community with God and others because she was so hurt in this church situation. And I'm thinking, like, if I could have just read them, maybe it would have been better. Like, maybe they just needed somebody to let them know, show me where that is in the Bible that this can occur.
I'm
Like,
just saying they ain't got no scripture for it. They don't have no scripture.
and I don't know. I don't know if their
Can't
stance.
even fornicate.
I don't know. So I don't know if that was their stance. Like maybe they didn't believe her. Like maybe they thought she was lying or something. I don't know if that was their stance. But um, what I took from that is leave the church, don't leave God. And sometimes there's a great church for you that happens to not be the church that you're in. But a lot of people don't realize that. Like I think at this stage, we all need to do some deconstructing of our faith to make sure that we are clear where we stand on our faith. Because there are some people who are blindly following some churches that are not in line with the word of God. And I want you to be clear that the goal is not for you to follow the church. The goal is for you to follow God. So
Right.
I would have probably read them for filth because how hard it is to go through IVF and how expensive it is to go through IVF and how in some cases super traumatic it is for them to have turned the beauty of her birthing her children into the abandonment of her church would have pushed me over the edge.
Yep. I mean, that's, such a big conversation around that, especially for high achieving and overachieving women who don't have spouses but want to be moms and they feel like their biological clocks are ticking.
Right.
And I think, one of the things that I really have put my heels down in is that I'm not God in nobody's life and I can't be the judge of what people are supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do in those regards, right?
Right.
I mean, I think we know some basic right and wrong stuff, but who said that was wrong, and who said that God is not pleased with her decision to become a mom? So I'm just, I'm just tired of people. I'm tired of people representing Jesus poorly. Stop lying on Jesus. Just stop saying that he told y'all to do stuff and just say you want to
That's a new song. Stop lying on
lying on
Jesus.
Jesus. Yes, stop lying on him. Okay. Speaking of Jesus, this is the one we can end on. So one of the people that I follow on TikTok is Richie Fontaine. Ricie Fontaine, Fontane. Richie Fontaine is a comedian. He's always talking in his car. He is funny. And one of the first ones that I saw about him when he was like, who told you I was strong, bro?
No.
He was like, some of these weapons, they seem like they prospering a little bit, bro. He said, I'm gonna need you. He went through, he was naming stuff. He was like, I'm gonna need you to come get one of these. I'm gonna need you to come get one of these because it seemed like this weapon prospering. Seemed like this battle has not been won by me.
Been there, done that. Look,
He was
these
like, "Well,
weapons
who?"
got hands.
He was like, "Who told God I was a strong soldier? Keep my name out your mouth." So
Oh,
Richie Pate, he's had some
wow.
funny stuff. Now listen, I have to give you a caveat. Calvin and I do not know these people. We are looking at social media just like you are. We cannot guarantee you nothing about none of these people that we have shared with you. We just let you in the group chat. We just shared a little meme with you. We just put forward on a little reel that we found on TikTok or Instagram to share that with you today. And we hope that we have number one, intrigued you a little bit to be curious about something that might be new or different. We hope that we have confirmed something that you believe or think about your life too. And we hope that we provided a little humor today because guess what? We love y'all to life.
Hey, remember, get down in the comments. Tell us
Right.
which one of our clips you liked. But more importantly, share a clip with us or somebody that you follow us so that we can get some juice from the group chat too. And if y'all like
Right.
this episode, let us know because we can totally do this again. We could totally do
Yeah,
this.
we would totally do it again. And
We
listen,
got a
if
whole
you're not
folder.
already subscribed, what is it?
I said we got a whole folder.
Oh, we do. I have collections. I have lots of them. But if you have not already subscribed to the podcast, what are you waiting for? You
Do
need to
it.
subscribe to the podcast. You need to like it. You need to leave us a positive review. You need to share it with a friend that you love or family member that you love. And if you're not following us on our socials, you need to do that at Loving Life with Liz and at Calvin. Go ahead. What are you
Yeah.
waiting?
Period.
All right, we'll be back. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
We love y'all. Bye.